Rick Flag and our team of monsters arrive at the old Frankenstein castle and begin to strategize how to save the bride and Nina. As this is happening, we get a flashback of G.I. Robot and the Easy Company in the middle of war with Nazis. The Nazi soldiers begin a sneak attack and overwhelm the Easy Company soldiers. However, G.I. Robot does exactly what he was programmed to do and lays waste to the Nazi soldiers. This wins G.I. Robot the respect of his fellow soldiers. They celebrate their victory at a bar and G.I. appears to be truly happy. We cut back to modern day and the team finds the bride tied to a chair. She tells them Cersei and her team are gone. G.I. Robot asks, "Where's Nina?" The bride tells him she's upstairs and he immediately runs upstairs to look for Nina. He locates her in a tub and seems relieved that she's still alive. I find it interesting how he's learned to mimic human emotions over the years. She explains her helmet was destroyed and she can't breathe without it. He tells her not to worry and proceeds to lift the entire tub and carries her out of the castle. Rick Flag and the bride realize Cersei left them alive as a distraction so they can leave the princess unprotected. They rush back to the princess's castle. Suddenly, we get another flashback of G.I. Robot doing an on-air interview that doesn't go well. We learn that he was sold off to Dr. William Magnus, who experiments on him and gives him upgrades. The princess is awakened by one of her guards. She sees that her home is under attack. She runs away from the Sons of the Mascara, who was successful at invading her castle. Meanwhile, the Creature Commandos arrive just in time and we get to see them in full action and it's great. I believe this is the first time we truly see them work as a team, and I think they're actually quite lethal. We get another flashback and we see G.I. Robot was totally discarded when he was no longer useful. He's sold to a collector of old war materials. The guy welcomes him into his home and appears to be a friendly person. However, G.I. later learns he's a white supremacist when he takes him into a meeting and obliterates the group of men. Simultaneously, we see him annihilating the Sons of the Mascara while rising up high into the sky like a death angel. Those upgrades given to him by Dr. William Magnus was quite impressive. As this is happening, we get a flashback of him being sentenced to prison for ending a hate group and was left to rot in a cell. His story is quite sad. Leave it to James Gunn to have me in my feelings about a robot. We cut back to the current day and as he's blissfully laying rest to Cersei's soldiers, Cersei blasts him, seemingly ending his life and flies up to the princess. Our team looks heartbroken. Cersei approaches the princess and blasts her, throws her against the wall. The princess yells in pain and tells her she'll give her whatever she wants. Cersei tells her, "What I want is you dead." The weasel comes in for the attack, pushes Cersei off the balcony and begins to bite and claw at Cersei viciously. She lets out a scream as he continues to claw at her back, and while Dr. Phosphorus burns her face, Rick Flag looks on in horror. The bride walks up and tells him, "You want monsters? You got monsters." I know Cersei is our villain, but I almost feel sorry for her. She's been getting her ass handed to her for 2 episodes. Cersei looks up at the team with her injured face and yells, "You idiots! You've doomed the world!" The episode fades to black. Although a lot happened in this episode, there was something a bit relaxed about this episode, and I guess it's because we got G.I. Robot's backstory. I must say, I was truly touched by his story. G.I. Robot was basically created for one purpose, and after that purpose was fulfilled, he was deemed no longer useful, sold off, and then discarded again, after he was experimented on. Lastly, he was imprisoned by the same government for doing what he was designed to do. I think his story shows the huge oversight the government can have when it comes to the safety of its own citizens. No private citizen should have been able to purchase G.I. Robot. It was cool to see the Creature Commandos in action, and seeing Weasel nearly dismantle Cersei was the horrific ending I needed to leave me excited for the next episode. Overall, I rate this episode a solid A. If you like this review, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.